So today we are going to do with the triple column cash book. The columns for the triple column cash book is what? Date, particulars, R number. That tiny column is R number. Then LF, the another tiny column, LF ledger folio. Then discount, cash, and bank. So if we count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. First 7 columns are the debit side, and the other again date, particulars, V number, LF, discount, cash, and bank. So other 7 columns is for the credit. Right? The debit side of the cash book has 7 columns, credit side of the cash book has a 7 column when we have a triple column cash book, right? So I'll just write the rule over here. Debit side of the cash book, what we write? All the receipts. What we write? All the receipts. And credit side of the cash book, we write all the payments, correct? Debit side all the receipts and credit side all the payments. But while doing the cash book, the most 3 entries which is generally they ask is a contra entry. So what is contra entries? There are 3 contra entries as we already discussed earlier. I'll repeat one more time as a revision. Office cash deposited into the bank is a contra entry. Cash withdrawn from the bank for official purpose is also a contra entry. And there's a third, check deposited into the bank which was received earlier. So basically in all 3 entries, which I just mentioned, all 3 entries may, if you see, your cash balance and bank balance both are reflecting. Both are what? Reflecting. That's what called as a contra entry. That is the definition of a contra entry. When on the same date with the same amount, when both balance are reflecting, it called as a contra entry. First example, office cash deposited into the bank. In that case, your cash in hand is getting down and cash at bank is going up. Right? Same date, same amount, both the balance are reflecting. Correct? Then next one, cash withdrawn from the bank for official purpose. In that case, your bank balance will go down and cash in hand will go up. It's a contra entry, same day, same amount. Check deposited to the bank, which was received earlier. For example, we got a check from someone on 10th of January. Suppose we got it from Mr. X. But it's not necessary when you got the check on 10th, you have to deposit on 10th only. We have 3 months time for every check. If you got it today, so within next 3 months, you can deposit the check anytime. Okay. So suppose you got it on 10th of January, but due to busy schedule, you didn't deposit that check into the bank. So you deposited on 15th of January after 5 days, or after, like suppose you deposit on 20th of January. Any later date apart from 10. Any later date, if you deposit the date, deposit the check, that is also contra entry. How I'll tell you, because 10th when we got the check, we have to record in the cash book as a receipt because we got it. So check we got it, but we not deposited it. So can we increase the bank column? Logically, technically, no, right? Because that check is with us. If you deposit that check into the bank, then your bank balance will reflect. But the check is not deposited. So for time being, we'll record in the cash column first on the 10th of January. And then when you deposit that check on 15th of January or 20th January, any later date pay, that time we'll consider office cash which we received on 10th, we depositing into the bank. So in that case, your cash in hand will go down and cash at bank will go up. Again, these are 3 contra entries we have. And 2 more things I want to tell you. I want to tell you about received check. Okay. So when you received a check, before recording that check, 2 things we need to check it. Whether that check is deposited on the same day or later date, or we endorsed that check to someone else. I hope you know the endorsement. What is endorsement means? I got the money from Mr. X because Mr. X owes to me and I owe to Mr. Y. So the check which I got from Mr. X, I have given it to Mr. Y to settle his account. So basically, I got the check from Mr. X and this check, same check I give it to Mr. Y. It's called as an endorsement. So both my account are settled of Mr. X also is settled because X paid me the money and the check I given it to Mr. Y. So Y's account also settled. So in one check I settled both the accounts. That is called as an endorsement. So we need to check when we received a check whether this check is deposited on the same day, later date, or we endorsed. Okay. If these three scenarios are there, then we'll record in the cash column and later on we'll think about what happened to that check when the actual date of the endorsement or deposit comes. Okay. And one more thing we need to take into consideration. If there is no further info about any check, for example, 12th of January, we got a check from Mr. Suresh worth rupees 10,000. 12th of January. Until 31st January, there is no further info given about this Suresh check. So we presume it is deposited on the same day and will record in the bank account. I'll repeat, if we got a check and the whole sum, there is no further information given regarding this check. So we presume we deposit it on the same day and we record in the bank column. I hope everyone understood this, like what I just. So now I took one sum to solve. This is the sum. Enter the following transition of the cash book with the cash, bank, and discount column. Means 3-column cash book. They're asking cash column, bank column, and discount column. That's why we made the 3-column cash book. As I just mentioned, debit side we have 7 columns and credit side we have 7 columns. So, right? On 30th April 2011, the date is given. First transaction is given. 2nd April 2011, the balance of cash in hand 500, overdraft 3,800. Balance of cash in hand, balance means positive balance, right? It's a positive balance. So that will write on the receipt side. So I'll write here first April 2011. Here also I'll write April 2011 and date 2nd. Debit side maybe I'll always write 2 balance brought down. In cash column, it's 500. Right? And for bank overdraft, it's overdraft. Overdraft means it's a negative bank balance, so I'll record on the payment side of the cash. So here I'll write date 2nd April by balance brought in the bank column 30 because it's a negative bank balance. Okay. Now check. On date 4th, introduce cash 8,000 as further capital, of which 4,000 was deposited into the bank. So we got 8,000 rupees from our proprietor. Out of this 4,000 rupees we deposited into the bank, and remaining 4,000 is with us only, right? It's within the office only. This is the meaning of the statement. Do you think this is a contra entry? First of all, tell me this is a contra entry or no? If your answer is yes, tell me why it is a contra entry. If your answer is no, then why it is not a contra. What do you think, Michael? Is it a contra entry?
It's not a contra entry because they're saying it's already deposited into the bank.
Okay. Shivansh, what about you? What do you think? It's a contra or no?
Sir, I feel it's a contra entry because it's adding into the capital of the business. So I feel that it's a
What is a contra entry in capital ka any relation? What did I mention for contra entries? And did I mention anything about capital in the contra entry? Capital
No.
increase then contra, capital decrease then contra, something like that. Did I mention anything? Nothing, right?
No.
Both. Mikhail, you said it's not a contra, no?
Yeah.
And Shivansh, you are saying it's a contra entry, right?
Yes.
Both of you are the reason or the logic which you are giving me, both of you are completely wrong. Contra entry is what, Mikhail, I tell you. When you are, what I mentioned, office cash deposited into the bank. This is the office cash? No, this is not office cash. This cash we got it from outside. Proprietor's money, he invested into the business, and that out of that 4,000 I'm putting into the bank. So I'm not putting my own office cash into the bank. This is proprietor's cash he introduced, and that I'm putting into the bank, not a contra entry. Because contra entry is what? I'll repeat, office cash deposit into the bank. This is not office cash. This is money you are getting from outside and you are putting into the bank, not a contra entry. Correct? So how do I record this? But always this is the receipt for a business because introduce a cash. 8,000 he introduced, out of that 4,000 you're putting into the bank, 4,000. Which means what? 4,000 are recorded in the bank column, 4,000 are recorded in the cash column. Correct? There's a date for it, 4. 2 capital. Because in the cash book we always write the purpose. What is the purpose? Why the cash is coming in or why the cash is going out? So 2 capital, 4,000, 4,000. 4,000 cash, 4,000 in the bank column. Next, date 5th. Sold goods for cash will be 4,300. We are selling goods on a cash basis, so basically it's a receipt for us. We are getting the money. The date 5. 2 sales. 1. It's 2 sales. 4,300. Next. Date 6, collected from Ankur rupees 10,000, collected, then we are getting the money by check and allowed him a discount of 250. Okay, now see what happened to this Ankur check. Did they give any information about this Ankur check? Read the whole sum.
No.
Anything is mentioned about Ankur check? No information. So what did I just mention before starting the sum? If there's no further info given regarding the check which we received, it is presumed to be deposited on the same day, correct? So when we deposit on the same day, we can record in the bank column directly. Date 6, 2, Ankur. Now why I'm not writing a purpose over here? Because there's no purpose given, they're just given the person name, so I'm writing the person name. And we allowed him a 250 rupees discount, and this amount I'm writing in the bank column because no further info we assumed it deposited on the same day. Correct? Next. Purchase goods for cash 2,400 and by check rupees 3,600. So we bought the goods.
Sir, I have a question.
Yes.
So shouldn't it be 9,750?
No,
Because
no.
we don't
We
subtract the
we
discount.
collected from Ankur rupees 10,000 by check.
Right.
We got the check of 10,000 rupees. So check me you can't do, na?
Yeah.
10,000 right 9,750.
Right.
When you got a check of 10,000, it's 10,000. It means
Right.
he owes us 10,250 like
Yeah.
that.
Okay.
Okay. Purchase goods for cash 2,400 and by check 3,600. So both are payments, but one in cash and one in bank. Correct? So here I'll write by purchases because purchases is the purpose. Cash column में 2,400 and bank column में 3,600. What was the date given for this? 10. So that here 10. Next, paid to Brindavan rupees 2,800 by check. We are paying this to Brindavan and discount receipt rupees 80. Okay, so we are paying this. So date 11 by Brindavan. We got 80 rupees discount and we paid through check. How much amount we paid? 2,800. Since we paid through check, I'll record in the bank column. Next. Paid commission. Again payment. Nothing is mentioned here. Cash or check. It's by default. What is by default?
Cash.
Cash, correct. So date 12. By commission. What was the amount? 640. Okay. After that, 15. Purchased office furniture by cash. We are buying the furniture, so it's a payment for us. Date 15. Furniture. It is in the bank column. What is the amount? 2,500. right? And it is a check payment, that's why on the bank. Also, it's a cash payment, my bad. It's a cash payment. So that is the cash. Okay, next. Paid rent, and it's a payment, need 16. Buy rent. What was the amount?
Sir, 180.
It's through cash only, right? Because no check is mentioned. Next. Do you check for personal use? You are withdrawing it. A check means from the bank, but for the personal use, is it a contra?
No, sir.
It's not a contra. Because withdraw from the bank for official use is a contra entry. So this is not a contra entry, it's a payment. The money is going out from the business. What is the technical term it called? By
Why?
drawings. Like it. They're withdrawing from the bank 1800 rupees. Next. Cash sales. So we are selling goods on a cash basis, 5,600. So cash sales means cash column. What was the date? 18, no? Right. Now, collected from Santosh rupees 4,500 in cash and deposited next day. So first of all, 20th ko we got the money from Santosh, right? That I'll record first. Date 20 to Santosh. I got a cash, so I'm recording the cash. Correct? Now 21st ko we deposit it. So it's a contra entry because in that case, office cash we are depositing into the bank. Correct? It's a contra entry. So how to deal with the contra entry? Last class also I told you when we are doing the cash book, we'll do a working note for it. Date 21st April, journal entry. When we are depositing money into the bank, what is the journal entry? Debit what comes in, credit what goes out. Debit the receiver, credit the giver. So bank is the receiver, that's why debited, and credit what goes out, cash is going out, that's why cash account. So these are the journal. And cash book is a ledger format. So from journal to ledger, when you are transferring, whatever we debited in the journal, it got credited in the ledger. And whatever we credited in the journal, it got debited in the ledger. Correct? So bank account is debited. So bank account will go on the credit side. Date 21st, buy bank. So when I'm writing here buy bank, amount should be in the cash column, 4,500. And cash is credited over there. So here cash will get debited. And here two cash means amount should be in the bank. See, this is called as a contra. So I'll let you know C here. C stand for contra. Correct? This is the contra entry. When you are doing a contra entry, first do the journal entry, and according to the journal entry, just transfer to the dividend credit side. Next, dividend received by check 250 and deposit into the bank. We got the check and we immediately deposited on the same day. Directly we record in the bank column. 23 to dividend 230 in the bank. Simple. Then paid office salaries by check. We are paying the salary by check 2,200. Check me. That's our bank column.
Sir, 250.
250.
For the dividend is 250.
Dividend is 250. Okay. Okay. 250. And this is 2,200. Next, we have a deposited cash in excess of 500 into bank. Most of the students get confused in this kind of adjustment. What they are saying, they are not asking us to deposit 500. They are asking us to deposit, keep 500 with you, and rest money deposit into the bank. So how will I know how much cash I have? What is the way? How do I know how much cash I have? What I need to do is, for this, first I have to make the receipts total. How much receipts I made? First I need to do the total of that. I'll just do the total of that. 500 plus 4,000 plus 4,300 plus 5,600 plus 4,500, which is 18,900. 18,900 is the total receipts I have. Then I'll do the total of the payments also. What is the payment? I made some payment also in this month. That also need to take into consideration. 2,400, 640, 2,500, 180, and 45. 10,000, 220. These are the payments I made during this month. So I got somewhere 18, 19,000. I made payment something 10,000 rupees. What does it mean? How much cash I have in hand? How much cash? Do the calculation and tell me.
8,680.
8,600. Correct. $8,600.
80.
600. This is my cash. Currently, I have that. What we said, keep 500 rupees with you at rest. So 8680 minus 500 is how much? 8180. This much money we have to deposit in the bank. A little tricky, but not very difficult. So 8180 will put into the bank. So when you're putting into the bank, again the same entry, your bank to cash, because we are depositing again. So here I'll write again date. Wait, I'll just erase all this. Now date. What is the date given for that? 29. 29 first cell that here buy bank, and here to cash. To cash means amount in the bank column 8180, and buy bank means amount in the bank column C and C. That's it. Now we'll start closing the account. So let's just change the color. Bottom two line. Debit side discount is 250. This side is 80. Discount credit, no carry down, no brought down, just make the total and leave it. Cash column, the total of the debit side is 18,900. The same total I put on the other side also, on the lesser side. And when I subtract all these information which I have on the credit side, I'll get the balancing figure, which is 500. Similarly, I'll do for the bank 4 plus 10, 14, 14,000 plus 4,500 plus 250 plus 8180 for 26,930, because the bank is also debit side is only heavier. So I put on the other side, then minus 3,800, minus 3,600, minus 2,800, minus 1,800, and minus 22. 12,730. What is this? This is the last carried on balance, no? Residue balance. Carried on. Last date of the April month is 30 and your first of May. 2 balance brought down. 500 and 12,730. 2 balance brought down. I hope everyone understood because the last hint is important.
Sir, the